Hi, I'm Underbelly, and you suck at producing. Today, I released a song called Self-Checkout, which is the third single off my debut album, Machine Yearning. Sounds like this. Wowzers! Once again, you can check out the full song on my Spotify by clicking the link in the video description, but I'm also sharing the stems of the song for your remixing pleasure. If you'd like, you can submit your remix to my Discord, where I'll be hosting a contest to decide whose remix sucks not so much. I'll be announcing the winner of the remix contest on my album release livestream, happening on July 6th at 6 p.m. PST. I'll be playing out the winning remix live on the stream for everyone to roast, and also be uploading it to my YouTube and SoundCloud. The winner will also receive a super secret stash of my favorite instrument racks, samples, and other musical goodies, as well as a sweet roll on my Discord. Wowzers! Now, for today's lesson, I'll be showing how to properly download and import the stems into your DAW, as well as sharing a few tips on how to best begin your remix journey. Let's get started.
Okay, so check it. Pause the video and then slowly and carefully scroll down in the video description to click on the link to download the stems. Wowzers! That's going to open up Google Drive. You just got to click the blue download button and click download anyway. It's okay, just a few viruses coming in with the stems, no problem. Okay, wait for it to download, then click again to extract it, and wowzers, pretty soon you'll have a folder of all the stems laid out for you. Now, before we drop this in, let's go into our Ableton preferences and make sure that Auto Warp Long Samples is turned off. Wowzers. Next, let's go to the arrangement view, highlight all the stems, click and drag them over into Ableton, and make sure you're holding down Command or Control to drop the clips into their separate tracks. Wowzers. Okay, now you can see each clip has gotten its own track. Let's minimize some menus here and make sure that we hit H and then W to fit the height and width of each track to the session. Wowzers. Let's take a listen. Oh, wowzers. Okay, sounds amazing. Now, here's maybe one small problem. Let's see if it's actually aligned with the metronome here. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to a more annoying sound. Turn on the metronome. Let's take a listen. Oh, what the? That's totally off. Oh, jeez. Okay, well, so I'm seeing a very mysterious number over on the left side that says 127 on each track. I wonder what that means. Maybe if we change the master BPM to 127 and hit enter, well, maybe we'll align. Okay, so much better. Jeez. Okay. Now, here's the thing. I have no idea what I want to do for this remix. All I know is that I just want to get roasted on the stream. So when in doubt, my recently deceased uncle always told me, granulate it. So I'm going to go ahead and take, one of these tracks here, solo it out, maybe these drop chords. Let's take a listen. Let's just go ahead and put that in a granulator. So I'm going to create a new empty MIDI track by hitting Command-Shift-T, typing in Command-F to open the search. And I'm just going to type in granulator there, and wowzers. Let's go ahead and add it to this MIDI track. And once again, a granulator is a Max for Live device that allows us to take little tiny bits of the audio called grains and loop them very, very quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the drop chords in there. And oh, geez. Okay, look at all that blank empty space here. It's completely useless. So let's go ahead and highlight the tiny little bit of area that I do actually want to granulate and hit Command-J to split that away from the rest of the track. I'm going to go ahead and take that little piece, drop it into the granulator. Okay, wowzers, let's go ahead and take a listen. I'm going to arm the granulator, solo it out, turn on M to enable musical typing on my keyboard. Let's take a listen. Oh, wowzers. Okay, so you can see that there's a knob over on the bottom left that says grain. This determines the size of the grain here, so we can have nice, healthy whole grains, for fiber, and also turn down the grains for some nice artificially processed grains. It sounds very glitchy and artificial. You can also turn up the spray, which randomizes the grain position a little bit, sort of like how Derek sprays his shorts every night. Okay. Sounding a little bit more dynamic. Okay. Now let's go over to our amp envelope section, turn up the attack to give each grain a little bit of fade in. And turn down the release so that the sound ends as soon as I let go of the key. Okay, so that's nice. All right, let's turn the grain size up a little bit. Okay, so that's pretty beautiful. Now, I think I'm ready to record here. Now, to do this, instead of just recording on the track itself, I'm going to create a new audio track by hitting Command-T, arm this track, and make sure that it's set to resampling. Basically, I'm going to resample what I'm doing with the granulator to audio because it's going to be a lot easier to work with down the line. So let's go ahead and highlight this area from, say, 49 to 57 here. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that my metronome is on, and whenever we're ready, let's go ahead and record. Oh, wowzers. Okay, so that's quite beautiful. Now let's go ahead and solo out the audio here. I don't think we need the original granulator track anymore, so I'm just going to delete him. I'm going to rename this new track, call it Grains. And wowzers, sounding pretty nice. Now, I think what this needs is some booty bass, so let's go ahead and go over to the top here. I'm checking out this drop bass track. Maybe we can use some of that. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring that down. I'm going to go ahead and cut it from the top by hitting Command-X and paste it by hitting Command-V. And I'm actually going to group all the stuff that I'm using for my remix just by hitting Command-G to group them together. I'm going to solo out the group, and let's just take a listen, see how it sounds together. Okay, looks like the bass is sounding in key, but it's a little quiet. I'm going to turn down these grains a bit. Bass is a little bit late, so I'm going to go ahead and bring him a bit to the left just by clicking and dragging. Okay, wowzers, let's take a listen. And probably bring him over here as well. Not totally out of key. Let's go ahead and pitch him down a bit. It's much better. Maybe, I don't know, go up, I think. I think that new chord was higher. And finally, for that last chord, I think we went down below again. Well, very beautiful. Okay, now I'm pretty happy with that booty bass, but here's the thing. We're still at 127, which is kind of boring if we're staying at the exact same BPM of the original. So I'm going to go ahead and type in 150 here. See what that does. Turn on the metronome. Okay, quite nice. Now we got the booty bass, we got the grains, but I think we need some drums at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and play maybe a little bit later in the track and, I don't know, see what we have going on here. Oh, that's very nice. Okay, let's solo out the drums here. Now, here's one small problem. If I turn on the metronome, well, they're completely out of time. Jesus Christ. Okay, now here's the thing. Let's go over to the drums and you can see exactly why this is. We don't have these drums warped right now, which means that they're not going to respond to me changing the master BPM at all. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on warp, hit yes, and I'm going to change the original BPM of the drums to 127 because that's what we started off on. So now let's go ahead and solo out the drums again. Take a listen. Okay, now they're in time. That's nice. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay, I'm going to use this little piece right here. I'm going to cut it and paste it over to our remix section. I'm going to go ahead and bring in the BPM drums. And let's take a listen. Very quiet. Let's go ahead and turn them up. It's a bit better. Turn off this metronome here. I want to beef up these drums a bit, so I'm going to go ahead and change the warping algorithm to re-pitch. You can see it brightens up a little bit. And for some extra beef, I'm going to go ahead and type in, add the drum bus here, turn up the boom, turn on compression. Oh, here we go. Jesus. Now, just so the drums punch through the mix a bit more, I'm going to go ahead and add a compressor to the grains track, turn on the sidechain, and get the input from the drums. Now, unfortunately, if I lower the threshold here, we're going to get ducking anytime a kick, snare, or hi-hat hits. So let's go ahead and turn on the EQ, turn on low pass, and that way only the bass frequencies from the drums will affect, our grains track. So just the kick will punch through. Okay, that's very nice. Okay, now I really want this track to get roasted on the live stream, so I think I need a little bit more ear candy for this. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a grain delay to our remix group here, and we're just gonna take a listen. Oh, geez, sounds amazing. It sounds like Uncle Joe whenever he opens FL Studio. Now I think we can actually make use of that. So what if we just resample what I just did there and splice in little tiny pieces of the grain delay into the original groove to create some variation? So let's go ahead and create a new audio track. Once again, I'm going to set it to resampling, arm this track, and I'm just going to record myself messing with this grain delay. Oh, Jesus. Okay, sounds absolutely incredible. Let's go ahead and take the grain delay off. We definitely don't need that anymore. And now what we can do is just splice in little tiny pieces of the grain delay into the original groove. So I'm going to put this in the group, solo out the group, and I don't know, I'm just going to leave this deactivated for now just by clicking on the clip and hitting 0. And now let's just take a listen. So maybe I could splice in the grain delay right there. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Command E on these little pieces on everything except for my grain delay track and just deactivate him by hitting 0. And then I'm just going to reactivate this little piece of the grain delay by hitting 0. So we're essentially doing the opposite here. Oh shit, that was a dope switch up. Okay, I'm going to bring this down just a little bit. And maybe let's do the same thing again here. Maybe something right there. I'm going to reactivate that, do the opposite on the original. Wowzers. Same thing. Oh, jeez. Okay, I'm definitely going to get roasted on the stream for this one. Wowzers.
Okay, so check it. Thanks for watching. Once again, you can check out the full song on Spotify and download the stems by clicking the links in the video description. And be sure to submit your remix to my Discord by July 6th and tune in that same day at 6 p.m. PST to see the winner. I'm Underbelly. Have a great day.